Mr. Marston, I've been hearing about your plans.
Have you, Miss McFarland?
Yes, from Lee Johnson, to settle here and build a life for yourself.
I'm afraid those aren't my plans. See, I already have a life. Well, I had one, and I'm trying to reclaim it. Or maybe what you could say is I had two, and I'm trying to end one of them so the other can survive.
You do so love to talk in riddles, Mr. Marston. Do you do that, I wonder, as a substitute for having anything interesting to say?
Probably, Miss McFarland.
Oh, call me Bonnie, you fool. Call me Bonnie.
Miss McFarland, I'm married. I have a son. I had a daughter, but she died. Years before that, I rode in a gang. We robbed banks, trains, held people ransom. We killed people we didn't like. Bill Williamson was in that gang. Now, if I don't capture my former brother in arms, great harm will befall my family. Now, I don't suppose any of this is very interesting to you, but I hope it explains why I wasn't so eager to talk about it.
No, I do understand. I had no idea. You poor man.
Even in this new country, memories don't really fade. My father was an illiterate Scot born on the boat into New York. He never saw his homeland, but to hear him talk about it, you'd imagine he only ever ate haggis and wore a kilt. And he hated the English for what they had done to his great-grandparents that he'd never met. People don't forget. Nothing gets forgiven.
That's true, especially when it comes to money. And you know, even now, after all his labors, my father's debts are still terrible. I worry every day about us losing the ranch. It would kill him.
My father died when I was 8 years old. His eyes were, well, let's just say he was blinded in a bar fight south of Chicago. My mother died during childbirth. She was a prostitute, and he was her, well, I don't know what he was. So I was sent off to an orphanage and ran away and fell in with a gang.
My word. What a difficult life you've lived.
The leader of the gang taught me how to read, taught me how to see all that was good in the world. He was a great man in a way.
But you killed people.
Sure, and I've suffered for it. And that's the life I left, or tried to leave. Said too much, Bonnie. I'm an uneducated killer, sent here to do all I can do well. Kill a man in cold blood so that another man may do his part to cut crime in an area, and a rich man can be elected governor on the back of these promises.
Civilization is a truly beautiful thing, Mr. Marston. Listen, can you help me?
Well, I can try. What do you need, money?
No, nothing so complicated. I need an extra hand to take out the herd to pasture.
Sure. Point me in the right direction.
Farmers such as yourself learned how to herd cattle.
Yeah!
Thank you for telling me all that back there. It must have been hard for you.
I hope you understand now why I've been playing my cards somewhat close to my chest.
I didn't know you had a wife and child. Then again, I don't think I ever asked. They're lucky to have a man like you.
I ain't so sure about that, but thank you.
Good to see you, Miss McFarland.
Whoa there! Get behind the herd! That should start them moving in the right direction. Assuming they aren't put off by your smell.
Nice job, Miss Marston. That's it.
Come on!
He's got it!
Drive them down the road, Mr. Marston!
Look at the cowboy.
Yes, senor.
Come on, you dumb heifers. Get that
Get right at them! Drive them this way!
Let's go. Yeah. Come on. Come on, easy up now. Come on. Easy. Come on.
Keep going, Mr. Marston.
Go.
Nearly there.
All right, let's move this large herd out to the far pasture. You stick with the main herd. I'll round these pirates up for you. I'll handle the wagon.
Come on.
You stay with the main herd. Leave those tracks with me. You stay focused on the main herd.
Keep it moving.
Watch for the runner.
Come on.
He's just showing off now. That's a big herd for your first time.
You're not bad with the herd. Ration might be your true calling, Mr. Marston. Either that, or you were a cow in a past life.
Thank you, Miss McFarland.
I'll see you later. I have work to do back at the ranch.
You little beauty. Let's go. Load up now. Come on, easy up now.
Hello.
Well, hello, Mr. Marston. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Did you meet my father? John Marston, this is my father, Drew McFarland.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Marston. Please. So, my daughter informs me that you're here on some secret mission to remove some undesirables from the county.
Something like that. I'm grateful for the hospitality, sir.
Well, you know, we've lived here for 30 years now. Came here from the east. The land had never been settled. For 10 years, we fought the Indians. Tough men. Then we had outlaws, And we had drought. We had smallpox. Terrible winters. Cholera. I buried more of my children than I raised.
Sorry to hear that, sir.
I've seen strong men wither and die under that unforgiving sun. That whole herds of cattle take sick and die. But I've never once doubted my life here.
No, sir.
When I hear about this so-called federal government sending out agents to covertly murder and control people, then I start to worry. I mean, yeah, all right, Williamson is a menace, and men like him are the plague. But isn't a government agent a worse menace? And all that symbolizes, I mean.
You may be right, sir.
Well, you're a brave man. You're always gonna be welcome here. But you tell your friends out east that we don't want to live like that out here. Like sneaking around and spying and secret missions. Right? It's preposterous.
Trust me, sir. I agree with you.
Good. Good. Well, we won't insult you any further. Come on, Bonnie, we got things to do.
Mr. Marston, do you want to join us? It's Daddy's favorite pastime. Apart from political discourse, that is.
What is?
Breaking in horses. Come on. I hear you're a pretty decent rider. For a city dweller, that is.
You're gonna need this, Mr. Marston. Right, now you got some rope on your belt. Let's see if we can't wrangle some horses. Come on, boy.
You sure have some interesting theories on what the government's doing, sir.
They ain't theories, Mr. Marston. I saw the telegram Marshall got from Blackwater. It ain't exactly a state secret that sent you.
Well, is he wrong? I saw those men from the train.
The government can go to hell if you ask me. Those sons of bitches would steal a coin off a dead man's eyes.
Mr. Marston!
He's right. Now, I don't know much about politics,
Please, Paul, can we just enjoy
but I
the
know
ride?
we're only as free as they say we are. Power's like a drink. The more you have, the more you want. And there's few men who can handle it.
There's certain things in this country a woman could do much better, if you ask me.
I ain't gonna argue with that, Miss McFarland.
There they are! Let's get after them!
Rope one! We'll bring him down together!
Come! I got you now!
That's it! Keep a hold of him now! Quick, boy! Start breaking him in! Keep it tight now, Marston! Now, Marston, rope him! Don't let him buck you, Mr. Marston! Lean into it!
That's it!
Almost
Don't give
got
up.
you! Calm it
What
down!
you got, boy?
God damn it!
Come on, let's go! Come on in,
You'll
cowboy!
have this in no time!
Let's see it,
Nearly
boy!
there!
Keep at it,
Take it
Mr.
slow now!
Marston.
I got you! Hold on!
You're doing fine!
Relax now! Nearly there!
Look at that! We'll make a cowboy out of you yet! Let me take it from here. You get back on your own horse. Whew! I think that's enough activity for an old-timer like me. I'll take this one back to the ranch. See you later.
Come on, Mr. Marston! Let's rope another one!
Come on!
Come on! Rope one of them! You haven't gone all day! Whoa!
Go!
What are you waiting for?
That's it. It's all right.
Whoa there!
Come on, baby. Calm down. Easy. I'm in trouble here. Come on. Come on. Nearly got you. Come on. Calm yourself.
You're a regular Bronco buster, city boy! Nice work! I think that'll do it for today. Let's get back to the ranch.
Come on. I like your father.
I'm glad. He's quite a character.
You have a good life here. The life I want. For me and my family, I mean.
We don't have a lot anymore.
You have enough. It's one that gets so many folks in trouble.
It'll sap your spirit and make you poor, but it's straight, and it's decent.
There's no better night's sleep than after an honest day's work.
It's no wonder you look so tired then.
Some deck must be shy of Joker, Miss McFarland.
Who'd have thought you'd be such a natural at busting Broncos?
That was fun.
I think you could be a fine rancher one day, if you can bear to stop killing people for a living.
Sure.
Well done, Mr. Marston. These are fine horses.
Hey, Bonnie. Amos was saying some horses been spotted somewhere outside of Armadillo.
Let's go, Mr. Marston. We can really do with those horses. Come on, Mr. Marston. Let's head for Armadillo.
You never did tell me why you were never married. Aside from the snobbery, that is.
You sure ask a lot.
I'm just surprised, that's all. You must have been quite a catch.
The fact that you're talking in the past says it all.
No, that's not what I mean. You must have had some suitors, that's all I'm saying.
Some, I suppose. Here and there. A ranch in the middle of Hennigan's Stead ain't really the place to find a husband. Amos, he's a little, well, you know, countrified.
Where'd you get your airs and graces, Miss McFarland?
From a couple of cheap governesses Pa hired to save us from being savages. I'd like to talk about more than just cattle and chickens sometimes, that's all. And after my brother left, it was up to me to become the man of the ranch. He'd never admit it, but my pa's a lot frailer than he looks.
You're worth two of any man I know, miss.
I'll try to take that as a compliment.
In many ways, my wife is kind of like you, Miss McFarland.
Is that so?
She's always been a woman in a man's world.
You don't talk about her very much.
It's kind of painful, but she's never far from my thoughts.
There's my boys. Come on, Mr. Marston. Let's drive them up the canyon where it narrows. We'll trap them there. Wait for my signal, and don't let those horses out of your sight.
I'll see you there, miss. Slow up. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Whoa. Easy. Let's go. Come on. Move! Move on! Move on! Whoa!
Ah, damn it! What the hell?
Looks like we got the lot of them. What magnificent animals they are. Hey, the stallion's getting away! Chase him down and bring him back. Go on! Don't let him get away!
Come on! Come on, come on, come on! Almost got you. Easy. Come on. Come on. Nearly got you. I got you. That's it. See? We're friends now. Come on.
Thanks for your help today, Mr. Marston. We got some fine horses. You know, why don't you keep that stallion as your own, as a thank you from all of us?
Thank you, ma'am. He's a fine animal. Let's go. There we go. Let's go.
Hey, miss. I got most of the horses secure and the chickens.
Well, thank you, Amos, but it's the herd I'm worried about.
I know, they're scattered all over the valley and beyond. The weather is coming in real fast.
So what do you suggest, Amos? We leave the herd out there to be scattered by the storm and ourselves left here to die without a livelihood?
Can I help?
No, miss. If the men get caught out in that storm, they're gonna die.
And if we lose our herd, we'll all die, you stupid man.
Doesn't sound like we're left with much of a choice then. Come on, Amos. Round up your men. Let's get the herd.
Dang.
Let's go. We don't have much time. Easy
Come on.
now. That sky don't look good. I'm starting to think somebody up there's conspiring against me. Are you a religious man?
Not in any real sense. Sometimes I tell myself things happen for a reason. Like what brought me here was fate come a-calling. But nobody made my path but me.
We all need to look for answers somewhere. Some in big old books, others in big old bottles of whiskey.
Believing in some kind of divine purpose ain't gonna give me my wife and kid back. Past is who we are, Miss McFarland. There ain't no changing that. Faith is a luxury I can't afford.
We have 2 herds out grazing in different pastures. We'll need to merge them and bring them all back.
I think we can handle that.
The cows get real ornery in bad weather. It's more work, but I'll show you how to deal with them. We're not gonna be able to hear each other in this rain. Just make sure you don't lose sight of me. Watch it in that mud. Whoa! Let's take them over to the other herd. We'll try to drive them all back to the ranch together. This is getting nasty. It's getting harder to see anything.
Come on.
Come on, I can't do this all by myself in this weather.
Come on.
Storm's getting worse. What are you waiting for? There. They're spooked. We have to stop the stampede. God, they're running for the cliff.
Let's go. Slow down.
Good work. Now let's round up those stragglers. All right, let's get him back to the ranch before anything else happens.
Whoa there.